Okay, Billy, back again. I just wanted to clarify. Here's your power brake line, and it goes into the factory style hose hookup right there. Just like I had to buy this because it was different than the Quadrajet hookup, but it's just like GM would have done it. This is your, like I said, this is your vacuum. These are filters. This is your vacuum lines for your wiper door right here and your headlights. This over here, I told you it was the power brake. It's not. This is the transmission. This for the shifting of the transmission. It runs off a vacuum. But you can't see underneath the fuel shield, the heat shield here. But there's a vacuum fitting that fits right underneath there. Yeah, I just want to tell you. And this intake is it's not the ideal one to have for performance, but it is the only one that. Well, it's not the only one. I won't say that, but it's the most accessible one that you can buy. You can still buy them brand new that fits under this hood. This is a low profile hood. If you want to run an aluminum intake with a Holley carburetor, this is probably the one you'll run with until you buy an L88 hood or a cowl induction hood or something like that. I kicked it around, but for now, this is where we're at. You decide, if you want to keep this set up, it's cool. It does its job. It's pretty quick, but not as good as a Performer RPM in my opinion, but that's another story. Okay. Wipers. So, the wiper switch right up there. You turn the wiper switch on. First thing that happens is the wiper door comes up. Hides the wipers. It comes up, and then the wipers go into action. You've seen them. But the problem I was having was when I turned it on, the wipers would collide with the door. The door wasn't coming up quick enough to get out of the way from the wipers. So I got to talking to the guys at Restoration Station, and they told me to buy this here. This little part right here. So I bought it. As you can see, I never put it on. It's an AC Delco. We love that. I'm sending it down in the car. I'm going to put it in the back here in one of these compartments. You replace that if you ever want to. But what I did, these right here, these are the switches I was wanting to show you. This one here, there's 3 of them, right? And it's kind of easy to keep track of them. You just fill down here. You got to think, okay, this one's closest to the headlights. Okay, so this one controls the headlights. You pull this down like that, and what it does is it'll keep the headlights in the up position. So when you shut the car off, like if you're driving around at night, every time you pull in the grocery store and then you're going to the casino and then you're going to the pool hall, whatever, every time you turn the car off, your lights aren't going up and down, up and down. You pull this down, they stay up. Because if this is not up, or if this is not pulled down, the wipers go down every time you turn the car off. Come up, down, every time like that. This is how you pull this out, and of course they turn on and come up. This here is to change your wiper blades. I've never changed the wiper blades in this because I don't drive it in the rain. But if you ever want to change your wiper blades, supposedly turn your wipers on, and when they come to the top, you're supposed to screw this down, and it stops them in their place so you can change them. If not, they're hard to get to because they're hideaway. This here is your wiper door override, just like the headlight override. When the car is on, you pull that down, the wiper door comes up. And it stays up as long as this is pulled down. So, if you haven't guessed already, you pull this down, you bring your wiper door up, and then you reach up there and you turn your wipers on. No problem. And then when you're done, you turn the wipers off, you come over here, you push this in, your wiper door goes back down. That's what I've been doing all these years, but here's the part if you want to do it the right way and fix it. There it is. I'm throwing it in the back here. Another thing I'm wanting to show you is this exhaust system here. When I first put this exhaust system on, I think the guy did a good job on it, especially since when I put that rear carrier in, and it fit right in there with good clearance. Because he put the exhaust system on without the carrier, so it's pretty good for him to make the clearances right and miss it. But yeah, I got some heat shielding up here because just trying to cut down on the heat that radiates into the cabin. And then the pipes are heat wrapped up to the headers right there. And the jet hot coating on the headers helps that too. But what I was going to tell you is when I first had this exhaust put in here, it was totally welded from the front to the back. It didn't have any clamps. Here's a clamp there, clamp there. It didn't have any clamps. It was fully welded all the way to the front to the back. That's great. Fully welded systems are awesome. They don't leak, they don't rattle, they don't come apart. The only problem is when you want to take it apart to do something, guess what you got to do? You got to cut it. So I pulled the transmission out of it. Can't even see the transmission, but I pulled the transmission out of it a couple winters ago, and I did the shift kit and put the 3000 stall speed in it and all that. That was a fun project. I really enjoyed it, really. But the problem was I had to cut it here, and the H-pipe. I can't even show you the H-pipe, but there's an H-pipe on it. Right there it is. So when I went to put the exhaust back together, some people were telling me about these bands here. Said they work good. I don't know. I tried them. They seem to do okay. But I think that maybe that one, when it gets warmed up, it might be leaking because I hear a ticking sound. I think it's exhaust tick. So either, you know, if I kept the car any longer, I'd probably take it back to the guy that did this and say, hey, weld this up for me. And it's like 3 welds, 1, 2, 3 right there. Just those 3. These exhaust bands they work okay, but it's not as good as welded. And if I ever had to pull the exhaust apart again, I think I would have him put a junction right there where that one's at and have all these parts just come out in 2 pieces instead of having cuts there. You won't even need cuts there if you follow me. But that's that, okay? So if you hear a little ticking sound, I think that's what it's coming from. I could be wrong. You look into it. You tell me what you found out. But anyway, that's that. I'm just trying to be real open on this car or anything so that you're not wondering what's up or anything like that if you hear any problems with it. Okay, bye.